Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to the Finance Current Affairs compilation series related to July 2025. We'll be discussing about all the finance current affairs in a MCQ based approach for your July 2025. So I welcome you all to this particular video. Let's first discuss the agenda of today's class. We'll be doing definitely MCQs completely in an exam oriented manner. Right, weekly we are doing sessions, weekly we are doing MCQ sessions as well. This is a whole and soul MCQ session for your July 2025 month. Okay, we'll be covering all the finance current affairs along with the MCQs. 120 plus MCQs are there in this particular video. Okay, concept discussion will also be there, plus I'll be giving you extra questions for your practice. So total, on a total basis, there are 120 plus MCQs here. Okay, so very good afternoon to all of you. Let's start the session quickly, and please be participative. One request from my end, try to share your thoughts in the comment section. The very first question for today is SEBI, together with the stock exchange, revise the enhanced surveillance mechanism norm to monitor small cap companies. This framework applies to the companies with market capitalization below which threshold? Here we are having 5 options: 500 crore, 750, 1000, 1250 or 1500 crore. What do you think is the threshold on which ESM norms, enhanced surveillance mechanism norms, apply? What do you think, guys? What should be the correct choice here? The correct choice here will be option C, 1000 crore. Okay, 1000 crore is the correct choice here. So SEBI has implemented the enhanced surveillance mechanism ESM for those company having the threshold below 1000 crore, basically on the small cap companies. So please do remember this particular question, very important for your examination. Okay, so while discussing the MCQs, I'll be also sharing कि कौन सा question ज़्यादा आने का चांस रखता है एग्जामिनेशन में. ओके, सो वीडियो के एंड तक बने रहिएगा. नेक्स्ट वन, India's push towards the sector-specific financing received a boost with establishment of a specialized financial institution in the maritime sector. Can you guys name the India's first maritime NBFC recently inaugurated to support the port-led development? Again, very important question. Again, an important question. Any thoughts, guys? Options are in front of you. Let me know in the comment section quickly. What do you think should be the correct choice? We have already discussed these finance current affairs. I think the answer should now come like this. The correct choice here will be Sagarmala Finance Corporation. Okay, Sagarmala Finance Corporation. Option E is the right choice here. That's the India's first maritime NBFC. Very important question for your upcoming examination. Right, so we have seen that inauguration of Sagarmala Finance Corporation. It was India's first maritime. We discussed this particular news, right? RBI has tightened the due diligence norms for AEPS to improve the transparency and reduce the frauds. The onboarding and monitoring of the ATOs must now comply a specific regulatory guideline. What do you think will be the due diligence requirement? As per which regulatory framework is the due diligence requirement that RBI has implemented? It is none other than our KYC directions, right? So KYC directions, option B here will be the correct choice. Can you guys tell me from which date this particular circular related to AEPS will be effective in India to all the regulated entities? What is the date? Anyone? What is the date here? The date is 1st of January 2026 and the code is Happy New Year. Okay, this is the code. You can remember some of the circulars because I think most of the circulars are effective from 1st of January 2026. So what you can do here is अपनी एक कॉपी के अंदर Happy New Year कोड लिख दो और वहाँ पे सारे सर्कुलर्स के नाम लिख दो. सो उससे तुमको आइडिया रहेगा कि 1 जनवरी 2026 से कौन कौन से सर्कुलर यहाँ पे अप्लाई होने वाले. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Which organization signed a strategic MOU to promote the digital service exports digital service exports from India? Which was the organization? Signed a strategic MOU for digital service exports in India. The correct choice here is option E, SEPCNIAMAISPC stands for Service Export Promotion Council. So the both entities have signed a MOU to promote the digital exports here. Okay. Next question. India's central bank maintains a composite index. Here we are talking about the digital payment index. Can you guys tell me how much was the percentage increase during this particular period as compared to September 2024? So as compared to September 2024, what percentage of increase has been witnessed in March 2025? Any idea? Anyone? The correct choice here is, guys, option B, 6%. Okay, so if I talk about September 2024 to March 2025 growth, it is 6%, and if I talk about year-on-year basis, it is close to 10.7%, right? So you can see here that September May it was 465. Now in March 2025 it is 493.22. Okay, so that's a 6%, roughly 6% increase as compared to the last published data. Next question. In quarter 4 of financial year 2025, which sector played a pivotal role in achieving a surplus? What was the primary driver behind the current account surplus in quarter 4 of financial year 2025? Robust domestic demand, robust exports of agriculture produce or merchandise exports, strong service exports, or domestic growth? What do you think, guys, should be the correct choice here? Any idea? A very simple one. We have discussed in the regular weekly sessions as well. So I hope you guys can now answer most of the questions, and this finance current affair compilation series is very important. Even if you are not able to watch the weekly session, you can download that PDF and do directly the questions along with those PDFs. That will be really helpful if you are having exam. It's highly suggested that you watch the weekly session. However, if you are unable to do so because of n number of reasons, you can directly watch the compilation as well. Again, it will be very, very helpful. And for those who want to cover the backlog, I will suggest directly go with the finance current affair compilation series along with the weekly PDF sessions. Here the correct choice is option D, robust merchandise exports. Okay, robust merchandise exports, sorry, service exports. Okay, not merchandise, service exports. Next one. In a move to boost industrial growth in the northeastern states, a major multilateral financial institution has extended funding to the infrastructure development in one of the regions. Can you name the state which is set to receive 975 crore assistance? A northeastern state which is about to receive a big funding, a big support from the ADB. Tripura. Okay, option B is the correct choice. Tripura is the correct choice. The funding is from the ADB, Asian Development Bank. Next one. In the context of AEPS, what is AEPS? Aadhaar enabled payment system is what AEPS is all about. We have done an entire circular of this particular concept. Who are the ATOs? Any idea who are the ATOs? What is the full form of ATO here in the AEPS? Anyone in the comment section? What is the full form of ATOs in the AEPS? Another important question. The correct choice here is option D, agents onboarded by the banks. Okay, they are called as Aadhaar enabled payment system touchpoint operators, ATOs. Aadhaar AEPS touchpoint operators. Okay, do remember the full form plus the purpose of it as well. Next one. This is from the AIF directions. As per the latest RBI guidelines on the investment limits What is the maximum aggregate percentage of the corpus that can be collectively invested by all the regulated entities? Let's suppose two regulated entities are investing in a single AIF. What is the maximum aggregate percentage limit for these two regulated entities to invest in a AIF? Again, important. Again, an important question, guys, for your examination. Any idea? Request for participation from all of you. It will be beneficial for you guys only if you are participating. Okay, the more you interact with your faculty members on YouTube, on live classes, the better learning experience you will be getting. You can even ask your doubts as well, in case if you are having any. The correct choice here is option C, 20%. So regulated entities on a combined basis can invest up to 20% of the AIF corpus. However, on an individual basis, they are able to invest only 10%, right? Next one. As part of the updated loan classification reform, UCBs can now classify certain loans as small value loans up to 2.5 million rupees or 0.4% of the tier 1 capital. That's an upgrade, right? Earlier it used to be something else. I think it was 0.2%. Now it is 0.4%. This category of loan can be classified as the small value loan, right? Can you guys tell me the maximum ceiling per borrower for such kind of loans? There is a maximum ceiling as well, which has been introduced. What is the maximum ceiling here? Maximum ceiling. The maximum ceiling here is 30 million rupees. Okay, 30 million rupees is the maximum ceiling, the capping beyond which definitely it won't be a small value loan. Next one. Under the priority sector lending guidelines, which are effective from 1st of April 2025, already in place, right? Urban cooperative banks must achieve a PSL target. What is the PSL target? It's very simple. It is nothing but 60%. Okay, again, important question from your PSL, priority sector lending. This particular topic is very, very important for your examination. Next one. Understanding the structure of debt is essential. Which type of debt is formed by the majority of the India's total external debt? तो हमारा जो total external debt है, majorly उसमें से कौन सा component सबसे ज़्यादा है? So long term debt का component जो कि 1 साल से ज़्यादा वाला है, okay? The maturity period of debt which is crossing the limit of 1 year is called as long term debt, और हमारे इंडिया के external debt के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा long term debt. Next one. As per the latest data, can you tell me the gross NPAs of the SCBs were at what level in March 2025? March 2025 के अंदर scheduled commercial banks के gross NPAs किस level पे थे? Any idea? The correct choice here is, guys, 2.3%. Okay, 2.3% is the correct choice. Next one. WPI and CPI. Which factor has played a largest role in the recent inflation moderation? We all know that inflation is quite moderated as of now. It's very, very well within the range of RBI. What is the contributing reasons? What are the driving reasons here of the recent inflation moderation? Any idea, guys? Anyone? The reason here is decline in the food prices, or I should say, I should quote that sharp decline in the food prices. The food prices came down drastically because of the vegetables, so that's why the entire inflation is very well within the moderated range. Next one. A country's ability to service its debt, both principal and interest, right? Debt consists of both principal and interest. Can you tell me the India's debt servicing capacity as a percentage of the current receipts marginally declined to what level for the financial year 2025? The correct choice here is option E, 6.6%. That's the current ratio. That's the current ratio. Next one. Which of the following remained the largest component of India's external debt? We are talking here about the India's external debt. Which of the following is the largest component as of March 2025? As of March 2025, which of the following is the largest constituent here? Loans, bonds, trade credits, deposits, or treasury bills? What do you think, guys? Any idea? Can anyone tell me in the comment section? The correct choice here is, guys, loans. They are the largest component of India's external debt as of now. Okay, loan component. Next one. After the recent interest rate cut by the Monetary Policy Committee, this is old news, not this current August one, right? Obviously, we are discussing the finance current affairs related to July 2025. Post the rate cut, public sector banks were encouraged to increase the lending, particularly to which segment? Now, public sector banks are specifically been asked to increase the lending in a particular segment. What is that segment? Rural agriculture, fintech startups, MSME rural, infrastructure companies and agriculture, or export oriented units? MSME and rural borrowers. Okay, option C here is the correct choice. MSME and rural borrowers. Okay, next one. Let's suppose a bank has sanctioned a loan to the farmer for dairy operations and the borrower pledged the gold ornaments on his own. So there was nothing such a kind of requirement of pledging. However, the borrower has pledged the gold ornaments, for example. Can this be treated as a violation of PSL norms? Never. This was a confusion. So that's why RBI has clearly classified that this particular kind of transaction, if you are doing a voluntary pledging of gold, even if it is not required, it won't be treated as a voluntary violation here, right? It is not be treated as a violation here. Next one. Credit availability to MSMEs is a critical component of inclusive growth. In financial year 2025, witnessed a notable increase in credit flow to this particular sector. By what percentage did MSME credit grow in financial year 2025? Important for you. Important question. Any idea, guys? Anyone? The correct choice here is 14.1. Okay, please do remember this data, 14.1. Next one. The government supported vulnerable MSMEs through different schemes to ease the access to finance during the uncertain periods like pandemic and recovery phases. Which scheme provided around 6.28 lakh crore of guarantee credit to MSMEs? 6.28 lakh crore guarantee credit for MSMEs. Which was the scheme here? Option B, CGFMU and ECLGS. So CGFMU stands for Credit Guarantee Fund Scheme for Micro Units, and another one is Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. These two together disburse the 6.28 lakh crore as of now to support the MSMEs. Next one. To foster innovation and technological advancements, the Indian Cabinet approved a large-scale funding initiative. What is the main objective of the 1 lakh crore RDI scheme recently approved by Indian Cabinet? Option A, support Make in India defense, boost electric vehicle manufacturing. Option C, enhance the agriculture automation. Option D, provide seed capital to startups. Option E, galvanize the private sector and R&D investment. Any idea? The correct choice is galvanize the private sector R&D investment. Okay, option E. Next one. Which Indian financial company received 1300 plus crore from AIIB for green and electronic mobility infrastructure recently? A company got 300 plus crore from AIIB for green and electric mobility infrastructure recently. It was Aditya Birla Capital, option C. Okay, it was Aditya Birla Capital. What is the total concessional amount approved by the Green Climate Fund for ADB led India Green Finance Facility in 2025? Important. $200 million USD. Okay, 200 million USD. Next one. The prominent financial institution based in the UAE. So there's a bank in a United Arab Emirates. Recently, they received approval to establish a banking unit in the gift city. Okay, in the gift city. What is the name of that bank? Which of the following UAE based banks received the approval? Recently received the approval. This is the first UAE bank to secure such kind of clearance in the India's International Financial Service Center. It was option D, Mashreq Bank. Okay, option D. Next one. The IFC has committed 460 crore to IndiGrid for building the country's largest facility of this kind. Which type of project will be developed using the IFC funding? It was battery energy storage project and the plant will be in Gujarat, right? We have studied this one as well. I hope you guys remember. So IFC has committed 460 crore to IndiGrid for India's largest battery energy storage project, and this will be in Gujarat. Acha, next question and an important one. Which organization have launched recently the India's first weather derivative contract? This is the India's first weather derivative contract. Important. NCDEX IMD. Okay, NCDEX IMD. Can you tell me a type of contract that does not depend on the actual crop damage or physical losses, but instead makes payout based on the weather related data such as rainfall or temperature or exceeding predefined threshold? Which of the following is best describing this instrument? So in this particular news, we have also covered this concept. The concept was related to parametric weather derivative contract. Okay, option C, parametric weather derivative contract. So NCDEX has launched the India's first weather derivatives, and this particular news will be important for you guys. And here I have explained the concept of parametric weather derivative as well. We have studied in the regular session. Please download this PDF later on and have a quick reading of this particular point as well, right? Next one. The RBI has proposed a shift in how the credit data is reported by the financial institutions. Instead of existing reported system, they are planning a more responsive approach by leveraging the CICs. What is CICs? Credit Information Companies. This new model will be based on what kind of data reporting frequency? Any idea about the data reporting frequency in this particular new model? Anyone? It is a real-time reporting system. Okay, it is a real-time data reporting frequency. Which of the following is not a benefit of the RBI's real-time data? Here are the 5 statements. The first statement is this will specially benefit NBFCs and smaller lenders by allowing them the price risk better and avoid the over leveraging borrowers. Next one, it also helps the reduce in the systemic risk by flagging the credit issues early and improving the financial stability. Option C. According to the RBI's executive director, improving data sharing will support better risk assessment and pricing models. And option D, real-time credit data will help the lenders to make faster and more accurate lending decisions, reducing the turnaround time and lower the underwriting costs. So guys, all the statements here are correct. So none of the above option. Okay, none of the statement is false here. All are correct. So RBI pushes for the real-time credit information flow to improve the lending efficiency. They want to do it on a real-time basis. Okay, they want to do it now on a real-time basis. Next one, to encourage the scientific progress in the sustainability driven industries, the Union Cabinet has recently cleared 2 key national schemes here. These schemes aim to foster the research and reduce the dependency on the petrochemicals. Which pair of schemes was recently approved by the Union Cabinet? Which 2 schemes was recently approved by the Union Cabinet recently? The purpose was foster research and reduce the dependency on the petrochemicals. Options are in front of you. What were the schemes? Anyone in the comment section? I hope you guys remember. Anyone, if you don't, we are doing this session so that you can do all the monthly data in a single short 1 hour lecture. That's what the sole purpose of doing these lectures. Research and Development and Innovation scheme was the first one, RDI, and the second one was Biomanufacturing and Biofoundry scheme. Okay. In case of breach of the minimum investment threshold in the specialized investment fund, let's suppose I have invested in a specialized investment fund, the bare minimum limit is 10 lakh. Now there is a breach in this limit of 10 lakh. Let's suppose I redeemed units worth rupees 1 lakh. So now the current balance is 1 lakh. What will happen in this particular case? What immediate action is taken when there is an active breach of the bare minimum amount required for investing in the SIF, Specialized Investment Fund? Any news related to SIF will be very, very important for your upcoming RBI Grade B examination. Please do remember that thing. Okay, you need to study SIF inside out. So we have already covered in a particular video. You can watch that video later on. Any idea what will happen in case if there is an active breach? In case of an active breach, units are frozen for debit. Okay, units are frozen for debit, and if you will continue to default, then definitely they will be redeeming your units after a particular period of time. Next one, the recent surge in India's service PMI is not standalone event but reflects a broader economic momentum. Which of the following best explains the drivers of the recent surge? What caused a recent surge in the PMI index? It was due to robust domestic demand, increased international sales and rising new orders. Okay, this was the sole reason. So we have seen that India's service PMI has increased to 10-month high in June 2025 on strong domestic and global demand, right? The data was 60.4. 60.4 was the service business activity index as of now. Next one, what do you mean by GAAR? Any idea? Now this is not a direct question in the finance current affairs. However, there was a particular news from which I have picked this particular concept. You are having already finance, basics of finance in your course, so you need to know the meaning of at least the full form of GAAR. I have detailed in my regular sessions on YouTube in detail about this GAAR. Any idea, guys? Anyone? Let's see who can tell me in the comment section about what GAAR is all about. GAAR stands for General Anti-Avoidance Rule. Okay, General or Anti-Avoidance Rule. So please do remember the full form of GAAR. Next one, what is the full form of DTAA? DTAA, anyone? What is the full form of DTAA? इट इज डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट. 2 बार टैक्स ना लग जाए 2 अलग अलग कंट्रीज के अंदर, इसलिए DTAA एग्रीमेंट्स होते हैं. इंडिया के भी काफी सारे DTAA एग्रीमेंट्स हैं अलग अलग कंट्रीज के साथ में. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वन, टू फैसिलिटेट सीमलेस $US ट्रांजैक्शन इन द गिफ्ट सिटी फाइनेंशियल इकोसिस्टम, which bank has been assigned for this particular role? Which particular bank has been assigned for the cross-border financial flows related to the $US transactions in the gift city financial ecosystem? Anyone? The correct choice is Standard Chartered Bank. Okay, please do remember this particular news as well. Important. Standard Chartered Bank. Next one. Despite a global slowdown in the venture funding, India remains among the top destination for fintech investments. What was the India's global rank in the fintech funding despite a 26% drop in half year 1 of 2025? What was the India's global rank in fintech funding? So as per a recent report, the global rank of India in the fintech funding is 3rd. Okay, 3rd rank. Next one, important, very very important. To ensure only serious investors are participating in the SMREIT, SEBI has set a relatively higher minimum limit threshold per unit. It has also allowed these units to be listed on a stock exchange. What is the minimum investment amount per unit in SMREIT? What is the minimum investment amount per unit in SMREIT? Very very important. High chances that a question will definitely come from SMREIT. The correct choice here will be, guys, option C, 10 lakh. Okay, 10 lakh is the correct choice. That's the bare minimum amount you need as a minimum investment per unit for a SMREIT unit. Okay, next one. The Asian Development Bank ADB has launched UHC Peers network to accelerate the universal health coverage across the Asia Pacific. The network is primarily aimed at facilitating what among the health sector stakeholders within from the 25 countries. So we all know that this particular thing was done to enhance the P2P learning and practical knowledge of the exchange here, right? This is also we have covered in the finance current affairs session. Next one. The government of India has adopted a new digital reform to improve the transparency and efficiency in the large value fund transfers. A notable step mandating the high value government payments through the e-Kobar platform. Can you tell me from which threshold value onwards will all the government such government payments will be routed through e-Kuber platform? तो एक लिमिट से ज़्यादा के पेमेंट है, so we need to route it via e-Kuber platform. What is the limit beyond which e-Kuber platform is compulsory for the government payments, for the high value government payments? Anyone? $75 crore. Okay, again important. Next one, the National Housing Bank NHB, which is one of the AIFI, right, has decided to publicly list a complete list of refinance beneficiaries. So NHB will be giving a list of refinance beneficiaries. What is the primary objective of doing such a disclosure? What is the primary objective of giving such a disclosure? To prevent the misuse of the refinance funds. So they want to make this particular process a very transparent one. So in order to prevent the misuse of the refinance funds, they are doing so. Next one. The global technology has witnessed an exponential growth in the market capitalization, with some of the companies achieving milestone never seen before. Which company has recently reached a historic market capitalization level? It's a US based chip maker, right? NVIDIA. So what is the market capitalization that NVIDIA has crossed recently? It was $4 trillion. Okay, so that's huge. Next one. In a move aimed at better tracking the sectoral performance within the Indian equity, BSE, through joint ventures with S&P Dow Jones Asia's Index Private Limited, has introduced a new index. What is the name of that newly launched index by BSE? Satyan, for that you need to consult with a faculty member who is teaching in the NABARD General. Okay, I am not teaching in NABARD General as of now, though I teach in NABARD Finance. Okay, so these topics, ESI and ARD related topics, it will be better if you ask the concerned faculty. Okay, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions related to RBI Finance or NABARD Finance. Okay, or related to RBI circular or SEBI circular. The correct choice here will be option C, BSE Insurance Index. Okay, BSE Insurance Index, option C. Next one. To boost the green and affordable housing in India, a leading multilateral development bank has extended a significant loan to non-banking financial company. Which organization has provided a 100 million loan to IIFL Home Finance recently? It was Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Okay, AIIB. Next one. In collaborative effort to expand the insurance access in rural India, LIC has partnered with Ministry of Rural Development, right? And what is the name of that scheme for which LIC has partnered with Ministry of Rural Development? Now this particular scheme is focused on training the women to offer insurance solutions. The name was Bima Sakhi Yojana. Again, a very, very important question. Next one. India's fintech ecosystem continues to witness innovation with new AI-powered platform. A fintech company recently launched a particular platform, which is a AI-driven platform under the brand name Next Banking. So this is India's first fully AI-driven fintech software. Okay. Okay, Satyan, got it. So if you want to cover all the circular related things and finance current affairs, right, So definitely for finance current affairs, you need to directly go ahead with the compilation series. Okay, if you are having a backlog, I'll suggest you to please cover the backlog first. Okay, so just say for example, if you are having 3-4 months of backlog, I'll advise you to directly go ahead with the finance current affairs compilation series. It's a complete exam oriented, it's a MCQ based series, and that's advices for everyone. Okay, so you can download the PDF notes of all the weekly sessions, plus quickly read only the important finance current affairs and directly go ahead with the compilation series. In that manner, you will be definitely be able to cover the entire backlog in close to 10 to 20 days. Okay, because for monthly compilation, we already have only one video of 30 minutes to 60 minutes. So definitely it will be helpful for you to cover the backlog. Okay, so इस तरह से आप बहुत सारे मंथ्स का डेटा बहुत फटाफट से यहाँ पे कवर कर पाओगे. The correct choice will be here option A. ठीक है, वीडियोस डेफिनेटली आप देख सकते हो. देखो डायरेक्टली एडवाइजेबल ये जो बैकलॉग वाले हैं उनको आप डायरेक्टली क्या कर सकते हो, पढ़ सकते हो पीडीएफ से. ठीक है, हाउएवर अगर किसी में इशू आ रहा है तो आप वो वीडियो भी देख सकते हो. ठीक है, बैकलॉग के लिए आप ट्राई करो कि पीडीएफ से ही कवर कर लो. So Laravel launches India's first fully AI powered platform, fintech platform Next Banking. Okay, so guys, before moving ahead to the next question, I would like to tell you that at Oliveboard, this is the 15th of August sale. You can use the code IRDAI and get a flat 60% discount. Next question. India's shipping industry received a significant boost through landmark FDI commitment. Which company have committed to invest 10,000 crore in India shipping sector? Option B. Option B is the correct choice here. Okay, these two companies have committed to invest a 10,000 crore fund in India for the shipping sector, India shipping sector. Next one. What position did NSE National Stock Exchange secure in the global IPO offering for the first half year of 2025? You all know that IPOs बहुत ही ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं अभी. So NSE का rank 4th है globally. Okay, globally. Next one. India's trade deficit narrowed significantly in June 2025 as compared to both the previous months. So among the major components, which category primarily drove the reduction in the India's merchandise imports? There was a reduction in the India's merchandise imports. Because of which category? What do you think? Because of which category this reduction was there? So this was due to crude oil. Okay, crude oil. Next one. What is the revised proposed investment cap for insurers in REIT and in INVITs under the IRDAI's proposal? Very, very important for those who are giving RBI, IRDAI. What is the revised proposed investment cap for insurers in REIT and INVIT under the IRDAI's proposal? The correct choice here is 6%. Okay, 6%. Please do remember this particular data. Next one. The Reserve Bank of India has laid down a clear guidelines for the process of novation in the OTC derivative contract. In this scenario, the transferor initiates the novation without consulting the original counterparty, which is the regulator's stance on such transfer. So it will not be valid because there is not consent, right? There needs to be a clear consent in case if you are entering into a novation. So from the remaining party, you need to take the consent, prior consent. If you haven't taken, this won't be any valid. Okay, so this is from the draft regulation of RBI novation. Next one. In a typical novation under the new framework, to whom these risks are transferred? Whom will be transferring the risk? Let's suppose there is a transferor, there is a remaining party and transferee. Who will be transferring the risk? Obviously, transferor is going out of the particular transaction, so transferor will be transferring the risk to the transferee. Okay, option B. Next one. RBI has clarified that the commercial arrangement between the parties involved in the novation may include the financial arrangements like fees or charges. Can I include these components of fees and charges? Can a transferor include the component of fees and charges in the novation contract itself? No. They need to keep that particular fees outside the triple novation agreement. Okay, because it's nowhere it is concerning the remaining party. So that's why it's only between transferor and the transferee. Next one. The IFSC at Gift City continues to attract the global institution. Which bank has announced the establishment of his IBU recently? It was CTBC Bank. Okay, it was CTBC Bank. Recently, India continues to enhance its international payment ecosystem in terms of UPI access, internationalization of UPI, right? So NPCI has added more and more Indian banks to the UPI Pay Now framework. What do you think is now the new total number of Indian banks who are a part of UPI Pay Now corridor? So earlier it used to be 13. Now earlier it used to be 4. With the recent addition, with the recent 13 addition, we are at 19 now. Okay, 19 ho chuke hain abhi. Earlier there used to be 6. With the newly added 13 banks, we are now at 19. Next one. Regulatory vigilance in the insurance sector is being strengthened. A panel constituted by IRDAI has proposed significant reforms to prevent the regulatory arbitrage and ensure better protection of policyholders. What key reform has RBI suggested recently? So RBI suggested the prohibition of the mergers between the insurer and the non-insurance entity. So corporates को insurance entities के साथ merge मत करो, ऐसा IRDAI ने suggest किया था, हमने पढ़ा भी था, because it will be a conflict of interest. हमेशा यहाँ पे conflict of interest बना रहेगा, right? So funds divert हो सकते हैं towards other activities rather than pure insurance. So that's what the suggestion was, IRDAI as well. Next one. India's financial components abroad in the form of equity and loans and guarantees surged in June 2025, which reflects India's deeper participation in the international investment market. What was the outward FDI from India during June 2025? So the data was 5.03 billion. Okay. अच्छा, 3 तरह का डेटा आपको याद रखना है. सबसे पहला रीसेंट, आपके एग्जाम से पहले जो रीसेंट डेटा होगा वो. दूसरा फाइनेंशियल ईयर क्लोजिंग वाला, जो कि आप लोगों के लिए हो जाएगा मार्च 2025, राइट? या फिर कोई इंपॉर्टेंट डेटा जिसमें सडन इंक्रीज या सडन डिक्रीज हुआ. ओके, दीज 3 टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा यू नीड टू रिमेंबर ऑलवेज. रेस्ट ऑफ द डेटा you can definitely ignore. Next, which company received the first SMREIT registration? Very, very important. This can be very, very important. Recently, SEBI has given a first ever SMREIT registration. Which was the company? Which was the name of the company? Aurum PropTech, right? Option E. Aurum PropTech was the company which received the first SMIT registration in India. Can you guys tell me what is the prescribed asset size ranged for the SMREIT? Asset size ranged for the SMREIT. The range is 50 to 500 crore. Okay. So SMREIT are allowed to hold assets anywhere around between 50 to 500 crore. Important. Anything related to REIT, INVITs, SMREIT is very, very important. Next, SEBI mandates certain investment participation levels for any SMREIT to ensure liquidity, broad-based ownership. What is the minimum number of unit holders required under a SMREIT? If you want to go ahead with the SMREIT, what is the minimum number of unit holders you need? 200 is the correct choice. Okay, 200 minimum holders are required for SMREIT registration, and we can see that SEBI has granted the first ever registration of SMREIT to Anuram PropTech recently. So please do remember the name of this SMREIT. Next one. What is the cumulative outward FDI from India during the particular period of April to June 2025? So the data was 6.64 billion USD. RBI has granted in principle approval to a fintech startup headquartered in Bengaluru. Under which category the fintech firm EximPay has received the license? So this has received the license as a payment aggregator cross-border platform, right? Where to find the complete playlist for your finance current affairs monthly compilation? Okay, so definitely if you go to the Oliveboard channel, you will be having a look at there is a particular playlist with the name of finance current affairs. Okay, click on that finance current affairs, you will be getting all the weekly videos plus the monthly videos. Okay, in the playlist section you will be getting each and everything related to the finance current affairs. Okay, next. So this is from the news of Net Zero Banking Alliance. So amid rising scrutiny around the greenwashing and the evolving climate goals, a major global bank has recently exited the Net Zero Banking Alliance. We all know that the bank was HSBC. Okay, HSBC became the first global systematically important bank to exit the Net Zero Banking Alliance. Yes, please do follow the monthly videos for the backlog. For the upcoming weeks and months, you can go ahead with the weekly series. Okay, weekly और monthly दोनों करनी है आगे के लिए, पर जो backlog है उसके लिए आपको monthly भी कर लोगे तो भी एक बार अच्छा खासा कवरेज हो जाएगा. ओके, मंथली में यूजुअली मैं सब कवर करता ही हूँ, पर वीकली अब से आप वीकली देखोगे. ओके, फ्रॉम नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स डू वॉच द वीकली सेशन प्लस द मंथली सेशन. फॉर द बैकलॉग ओनली डू द मंथली सेशन. Next one. Which payment bank has recently attained a scheduled bank status? So this particular thing we have discussed in the RBI circular series as well. NSDL payment bank अब क्या हो चुका है? यहाँ पे आपका scheduled bank का status उनको मिल चुका है. Next one, to strengthen the risk management and reduce the systemic shocks, SEBI has revised the risk constituent measures for derivative important. Which asset class has seen the margin rules being tightened by SEBI recently? Important. Correct choice here is electricity derivatives. Okay, electricity derivatives mein there was huge volatility. Because of that, SEBI has increased the margin norms. Right? We have discussed this particular news in the weekly sessions as well. Next one. To strengthen their capital base and meet the regulatory requirements, India's public sector banks are gearing up for major fund mobilization through QIPs and bonds. For financial year 2026, how much capital do SBI and other PSBs, public sector banks, aim to raise? The target is 45,000 crore. Okay, so they are aiming to raise 45,000 crore from the QIPs, qualified institutional placements. Okay, next one. To support the sustainable development of a key employment generating industry, the government is planning to implement a green credit ratings mechanism to establish a green infrastructure fund. Which sector is being targeted for this financial reform? Important. The correct one is textile sector, option E. Okay, so this particular question is very, very important. Next one. Financial Inclusion Index, यार ये तो सबको याद होगा. What is the recent data of RBI's Financial Inclusion Index as of March 2025? It was recently published, right? कोई कमेंट सेक्शन में बता सकता है मुझे फटाफट से? व्हाट इज द डेटा ईयर? ये तो सबसे सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, आई थिंक ये सबको पता होगा अब तक. Correct choice is 67. Okay, 67. Next one. Which among the three parameters which are a part of the financial inclusion index holds the highest weight in the index? Access, quality, usage, or access and usage equally, or all are having equal weights in the FII index? Usage is having the highest weight. Okay, usage is having the highest weight. SEBI in a step to improve the compliance workflow has launched a unified reporting system. Important. In collaboration with the stock exchange, this platform will serve as a central point for regulatory filings by market intermediaries. So if any market intermediaries want to file anything to SEBI, like we are having Prava portal in RBI, what is the name of this new compliance platform for SEBI? Very, very important. This can directly come in the examination. Correct choices: Samohik Prativedan Manch. Option C. Okay, option C is the correct choice. Next one. Which clearing corporation recently has got a recognition for renewed term of 3 more years? So it was MCX-CCL. MCX-CCL was the name of the clearing corporation which recently got a renewal for 3 more years from the SEBI. Next one. In a move to improve the working capital access to MSMEs, a new partnership has been formed under the trade receivable discounting system. Important. Which entities have partnered under the RBI licensed trades platform DTX to enhance the MSME supply chain financing? Important. Correct choices SBI and Credix. Okay. Next one. To strengthen internal audit and governance framework, the NUC FDC signed an MOU of Memorandum of Understanding MOU with a recognized audit institution. ICAI के साथ MOU हुआ था recently. Last week ही हमने cover किया था. This collaboration is aimed at enhancing the governance specifically in which banking segment? It was urban cooperative banks. Okay, please do remember this. Urban cooperative banks में हुआ था. Next one. The surge in the digital payment transaction has been driven by specific areas within the ecosystem. Which of the following were the major contributor to this increase in the surge in the digital payment transaction? So DPI release हुआ था, उसके अंदर driving reasons क्या थे? It was payment infrastructure supply side and payment performance. So supply side plus payment performance were the driving reasons, right? अच्छा, इसके अंदर जो आपका डिजिटल पेमेंट इंडेक्स होता है, which parameter include the component of digital identity system, banking channels, network reach, internet and mobile penetration? ये सारे पैरामीटर्स होते हैं आपके पेमेंट अनेबलर्स में. ठीक है, इंटरनेट होगा तो अनेबल करेगा ना पेमेंट करने के लिए. सो ये मोबाइल पेनिट्रेशन, इंटरनेट पेनिट्रेशन, मोबाइल होगा तो करेगा पेमेंट, डिजिटल पेमेंट, इंटरनेट होगा तो करेगा, नेटवर्क रीच होगी तो करेगा. सो इसीलिए ये सब किस में आते हैं? पेमेंट अनेबलर्स में आते हैं. नेक्स्ट वन. सो दिस इज अ स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. आई एम स्किपिंग दिस. वी हैव ऑलरेडी कवर्ड दैट. सो फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इंडेक्स कितना चल रहा था? 67 चल रहा था. अर्लियर इट यूज्ड टू बी 64, राइट. और ये इसके वेट्स थे. हाईएस्ट वेट किसका है इसके अंदर? यूजेज का है 45%, उसके बाद एक्सेस का है और लास्ट क्वालिटी का आता है आपका. नेक्स्ट वन. According to the RBI norms related to AIF, so this is a question from your AIF norms. So let's suppose a regulated entity has invested 8 crore rupee in the AIF, और AIF ने क्या कर दिया? आगे डेटर कंपनी को कुछ लोन दे दिया है. इस डेटर कंपनी में ऑलरेडी RE का भी लोन जा चुका है. So how much provisioning is required? Up to 5% is allowed. Up to 5% is allowed. However, if it is a downstream transaction over and above 5%, so यहाँ 100 करोड़ का 5% कितना हो गया? 5 करोड़ हो गया. तो 5 करोड़ तक अलाउड था. यहाँ पे 8 करोड़ कर लिया है. सो ये एक्सेस जो 3 करोड़ आ रहा है उसका आपको 100% प्रोविजन बनाना पड़ेगा, ऐसा हमने डिस्कस किया था, राइट, इन दी AIF गाइडलाइंस. RBI अपडेटेड डायरेक्शन ऑन दी AIF इन्वेस्टमेंट एग्जेम्प्ट सर्टेन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. किसको एग्जेम्प्ट कर रखा है यार? इक्विटी से रिलेटेड सारी चीजों को एग्जेम्प्ट कर रखा है, पर बॉन्ड्स को एग्जेम्प्ट नहीं कर रखा है. ठीक है, बॉन्ड्स को एग्जेम्प्ट नहीं कर रखा है. When regulated entities invest in the subordinated units of AIF, what treatment is required? AIF के subordinated units में अगर एक regulated entity ने इन्वेस्ट कर दिया होता है तो उसको हम डिडक्ट कर देते हैं फ्रॉम Tier 1 एंड Tier 2 कैपिटल. ये भी हमने उन डायरेक्शंस के अंदर पढ़ा था. अच्छा, ये डायरेक्शंस कब से लगने वाले हैं? तो अगेन 1 मार्च 2026 से ये 1 जनवरी 2026 से अप्लाई होने वाले हैं. यहाँ पे करेक्ट ऑप्शन ई होना चाहिए था, राइट. अगेन हैप्पी न्यू ईयर इज द कोड. सो ऐसे हैप्पी न्यू ईयर लिखो और सारे सर्कुलर्स का नाम लिख दो जो 1 जनवरी 2026 से इंपॉर्टेंट है और इंप्लीमेंट होने वाला है. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. इंडियाज न्यू नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव पॉलिसी वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू revitalize the rural credit and strengthen the cooperative institutions. It proposes the formation of which entity to support this goal? So they have proposed the formation of a national apex cooperative bank here. Okay, so ये cooperative bank वाली न्यूज थी, वहां से लिया हुआ है. Risk based internal audit is gaining attention in the cooperative banking reform. So RBI रिस्क बेस्ड इंटरनल ऑडिट क्या एम करता है? देखो एम क्या करता है, वो बोलता है प्रायोरिटाइज करो रिस्क एरिया, जहां रिस्क ज्यादा है वहां पे ऑडिट रिसोर्सेज का ज्यादा फोकस होना चाहिए. ओके, सो RBI हैज रिलीज्ड अ मास्टर डायरेक्शन, ड्राफ्ट मास्टर डायरेक्शन प्रपोजिंग सिग्निफिकेंट रिफॉर्म्स इन द बिजनेस ऑथराइजेशन. सो बिजनेस ऑथराइजेशन किसके लिए लेके आए थे? कौन सा फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन को टारगेट किया था? तो इट वाज अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स. ओके, अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स को यहाँ पे टारगेट किया गया था. फ्रैक्शनल ओनरशिप की परमिशन दी थी सेबी ने रिसेंटली, राइट. फ्रैक्शनल ओनरशिप की परमिशन दी थी सेबी ने. सो इसका क्या करेक्ट आंसर है? किसको दी थी? एक्सॉल्ट्स को दी थी. ओके, ऑप्शन डी, एक्सॉल्ट्स को ये वाली परमिशन मिली थी रिसेंटली. एशियन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक प्लान्स टू रीबैलेंस इट्स लेंडिंग पोर्टफोलियो. व्हाट इज द टारगेट ऑफ द AIIB, जो कि वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के अंदर देने वाले हैं? कितना परसेंटेज अब से वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर के अंदर देने वाले हैं बाय 2030? तो वो अब से 50% तक प्राइवेट सेक्टर में रीबैलेंस कर देंगे, वहां ज्यादा लेंडिंग करेंगे बेसिकली. इंडियन बैंक्स रिकॉर्डेड एन इंप्रूवमेंट इन देयर लिक्विडिटी कवरेज रेशियो ड्यूरिंग द Q1 ऑफ फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2026, which is the mainly supported. This was the mainly supported by which of the funding source? किस फंडिंग सोर्स की वजह से मेजर सपोर्ट मिला था? तो ये मिला था रिटेल डिपॉजिट इनफ्लोज की वजह से उनका LCR बेटर हो गया था, राइट. एंड दिस इज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर यू गाइस फॉर टुडे. डू लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन लेटर ऑन. इंडियाज फ्लेक्सिबल टारगेट इन्फ्लेशन टारगेटिंग फिट फ्रेमवर्क is scheduled for a review in 2026. The objective is to refine the monetary policy mechanism, and what is the main goal of this particular exercise? So do let me know the correct choice later on in the normal comment section. ठीक है, और कोई भी डाउट हो तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज माई टेलीग्राम हैंडल, यू कैन ज्वाइन दिस ग्रुप एंड रीच आउट टू मी एनी टाइम. Plus I have given some extra questions for you guys for your practice purpose. So later on please do download this PDF and do practice the homework questions for your extra practice. Okay, so thank you so much guys, bye bye, take care, see you soon in some other video.